Stabilizer, and this is Yoga Birth Breath. Today's class is going to focus on the breath and moving with the breath. So we'll just be really concentrating on moving the breath through our bodies and viewing the breath as the energy of our life. So imagine moving every inhale that you take, moving that energy throughout every part of your body, and then exhaling it back out. So just really focus on your breath and finding centering and grounding in your breath. So today's practice will start on our backs, and just make sure you have a space on the wall in case you need it throughout the practice. So just start on your breath, on your back. And just come onto your back and start in Shavasana. Just close your eyes. Close your mouth. Bring your tongue so it rests just behind your teeth on the roof of your mouth. And just come into your body. Start to draw your attention inwards. Notice the space you have inside. And just notice anything that your body is feeling, any sensations that are coming up. You can start to deepen your breath. For now, just start to really deepen and lengthen your breath. Throughout these video series, we've had a real focus on opening and expanding through the rib cage and the abdomen while breathing. So while you rest here in Shavasana for a few moments, really focus on opening and expanding through the ribs and the abdomen. Really opening the front of the chest, the back of the chest, down through the sides. Really expanding the belly, opening the belly up. Really allowing the belly to widen and expand each inhale. And for now, just bring your hands on the sides of your ribs. And open and expand your ribs on your inhale. And then exhale, let it all go. Inhale. Exhale, let it all go. And just feel the big movement in your ribs. So today we're going to start to learn Uddiyana Bandha. And Uddiyana Bandha is a breath technique that involves a lock. So there's kind of a lock at the base of the throat and at the base of the stomach or diaphragm that can be engaged through the breath. just imagine that your inhale, you're expanding and opening your ribs as much as you can on your inhale. Your exhale, you're letting it all go, every single last breath of oxygen. You can even breathe it out your mouth on the exhale. Now, without inhaling, you're going to open and expand the ribs and then start to draw the organs in the lower abdomen towards the rib cage. Well, it's hard to explain, but that's what we're going to do. So inhale, open the ribs, feel it with your hands, the opening of the ribs to the sides of the back. Exhale through the mouth, let it all go. And then instead of inhaling, you're going to open and expand the ribs. As if you were inhaling. So this is how you practice this Uddiyana Bandha. So inhale, expand and open through the ribs. Exhale, let it all go. Instead of taking that inhale, you're going to open the ribs up as though you're going to breathe. And this creates kind of a lock between these 2 points. And what I mean by a lock is it creates kind of a compression. And what essentially ends up happening when you open up the ribs without breathing in oxygen is all the organs from the lower body start to lift up into upwards. So you get a lift in the pelvic floor all the way up. Just try that one more time on your back. Make sure after you've completed that lock with the inhale, or the false inhale, so the apnea, that you have an inhale immediately following the release of that apnea. So take an inhale, exhale out all the breath, and then come into the apnea with the ribs expanding to open without the inhale. Then inhale immediately as soon as you release that apnea. And don't hold it too long if you're able to do this. So this is Uddiyana Bandha. And I'll demonstrate it when I'm in an upright position again. Another way of practicing Uddiyana Bandha is by lifting the arms behind you while you're on the floor. So you're inhaling, opening the ribs as you inhale and expanding. And then exhale, let all the air out. And then go into the apnea. And you can take a few relaxing breaths between each practice of Uddiyana Bandha. So about 3 breaths, inhales and exhales. So really just practice this Uddiyana Bandha. come back to it in a few moments. For now, since we're on our backs, we'll get warmed up here. So just bend your knees and hug them into the chest. You can hold the bottoms of the feet and draw your chin in into a little ball if that helps you become tighter and doesn't cause injury to your knees. And then reach yourself out. Extend to your fullest length possible. And if you're against the wall, just adjust yourself with the wall. And then exhale, coming in. Take a breath here. And just imagine the breath like a golden light filling your whole body on the inhale. And then exhale, extend, reach, stretch out. Breathe here. So inhaling, really nourishing the body with that breath energy everywhere. And then just let it go. Bring your ankles above your knees and spread the knees wide. Draw the knees towards the shoulders. And you can hold on to your shins or your ankles, your feet or your toes. And just keep the feet above the knees with the ankles pointing up. Draw your sacrum or tailbone towards the floor and keep your shoulder blades on the floor for Ananda Balasana. And just breathe here. Again, follow the breath. Really make sure that it's coming into your body. And imagine it going all the way to all points. So to your fingertips, to your toes, to the crown of your head. And then exhaling, drawing it all back out again until your next inhale. And really see if you can spread the energy, the life energy that the breath gives you throughout your body here. Take an inhale. Exhale, you can hug your knees into your chest. Again, if you have knee injuries, just bring your hands behind the knees instead of on top of the shins. Keep your feet flexed and just massage the sacrum for a moment. You can do big circles, go forward and back, side to side. If you do circles, make sure you do both directions. But just explore the sacrum and any sensations that you're feeling on your back. Keep your feet flexed with the toes pointing towards the shins, your heels pointing away from you. And just continue to imagine that breath really flowing throughout your whole body. When you're ready, just roll onto your side for a moment. And you can open your eyes if you haven't done so already. Come onto your belly. Just bring your forearms onto the mat and your elbows underneath the shoulders. Press into the tops of your feet for a moment. And just enjoy Sphinx pose for a moment. So make sure your shoulders are rolling up, back, and down your spine. Your head and neck are an extension of the spine, and you're really just stretching out the top part of your spine. This is Sphinx pose. Take an inhale. Exhale, bring your forehead to the floor. Bring your palms face down on the floor. And press into the palms. Keep your forehead on the floor. Take an inhale. On your exhale, lift the feet off the floor. And again, just focus on that breath, reaching all points of the body. Breathing into your toes. And up through your head. With every inhale, you reach all extensions of the body. So when we're in a specific posture, it's nice to extend through the part that is most active. So in this posture, it's the legs that are most active. So really focus on concentrating your breath in through the legs and through the feet. And then exhale, bring the legs down. From here, bring your left arm in front of you so that the elbow's in line with the shoulder and the forearm is on the floor. Fingers spread wide and anchoring the hand to the floor. Press into that forearm. And then lift the left leg up. Keep the right leg anchored to the floor and extend that right arm forward. Keep it in line with your shoulder, the wrist. And really press into it if you have a wall there. And now breathe into your hands and into your toes, following the breath through these points. You can press into that forearm, lift your head and chest up. And then exhale, bring the foot down to the floor. And rest your head on your forearm. And switch sides. So this time your right arm is in front of the chest, keeping the elbow in line with the shoulder blade. Your left arm is extending in front of you, and your right leg is lifting off the ground. Your left foot is pressing into the floor, lifting that knee off the floor, and your chest is lifting with the help of that forearm. So that front arm isn't doing a lot, it's just on the wall basically. The work is coming from that bottom arm. And again, just focusing on that breath, spreading it, the energy throughout the body. Exhale, release the foot, and bring your forehead to the floor again. Bring your right arm in line with your shoulder blade. Bring your left arm in line with your shoulder, so the hand is in line with your shoulder. And then start to roll onto your side You can bend that left knee and bring the foot behind you. And if you want a deeper twist, bring that left arm behind you as well. Just keep the right shoulder blade and the hand in line with one another. Then you can rest your cheek or side of your head on the floor. This is called broken wing. It's a nice stretch for the front of the shoulder girdle. Now just bring your breath into that shoulder girdle. So you're really stretching it out and really drawing the energy there. Take an inhale. Exhale, bring your hand onto your side, stack the foot on top of the other foot, and then gently roll yourself down. Extend your opposite arm up, so the left arm out in line with the shoulder. You might need to adjust yourself on the mat if you're close to another wall. Bring that right arm in line with the chest. And push into that pad. Roll yourself onto your side. And then you can draw that top leg, bending the knee behind you, and reach that right arm behind you as well. So again, really breathing into that left shoulder blade. Take an inhale. Exhale. Bring your hand back in front of you. And bring the foot on top of the other foot. And gently roll yourself back down onto your belly. Take an inhale. Curl your toes under. Press into your hands and just come onto your knees for tabletop for a moment. While you're in tabletop, just stretch out your wrists for a moment. So you can take one hand and fold it so that the fingers are pointing at the knees. And you can flip it between the top of the hand and the palm of the hand. Just following your breath here. If you'd like to do both hands at the same time, and you're not feeling too much pressure in the wrists by doing this, then feel free to do that as well. And you can flip them back and forth. Just keeping the fingers pointing towards the knees for now. Following your breath. You really draw the energy of the breath into your wrists this time. You want to deepen the stretch, you lean back towards your heels. If you need to come off the stretch a bit, just lean forward. Or do one hand at a time. Imagine golden energy flowing through your arteries and coming into your wrists. And when you're ready, you can bring your palms face forward again. Again, just make sure your wrists are in line with your shoulders. There's a micro bend in your elbows. And you breathe here for a moment. On an inhale, you're going to lift your chest, lift your gaze, lift your tail. And then tuck your chin under, roll your shoulders forward, and lift the spine, drawing the pubic bone towards the sternum. Inhale, lift your tail. Lift your chest, roll the shoulders up, back, and down the spine. Lift your gaze. And then exhale, tuck your chin in, round the spine. Draw the pubic bone towards your sternum. Again, if this is too intense for the wrist, come onto your fists. One more inhale, lift your tail, roll the shoulders up, back, and down the spine. Lift your gaze, lift your chest. And then exhale, tuck your chin in, round your spine, and draw your pubic bone forward and up. Come into a neutral position. You can sit back onto your heels for a moment and just bring your right foot on top of your left foot so that you're hitting the weight of that foot. The bone of the right foot is on top of the left foot. And you're getting a bit of an activation of the inside of your sole of your foot. Keep your shoulders back, your spine tall. Breathe here for a moment. So breathing into any tension in that foot. And just bringing energy into, from the feet all the way back up through the crown of the head. Every breath you take. Sometimes the muscles on the bottom of the feet can be quite tight, so just be gentle with yourself. Do what doesn't cause you incredible pain. Come forward onto your palms if it's too much. Take an inhale. Do come forward onto your palms this time. Switch your feet around and just sit here on top of the other foot. So again, just focusing on the breath. Focusing on drawing energy throughout the body, all the way down into that foot. And we're going to be on our knees for a while. So if you do need something underneath your knees, I encourage you to put something there, such as a blanket, maybe a soft cushion, or a chip foam block if you have one. Take one more inhale. Exhale, come onto your hands and release your feet. You can shake the feet up for a moment. Curl your toes under. And then just for a moment, bring your weight onto your toes. If this is too intense for the knees, just go where you can. This is toe torture. It's meant to be a stretch for your toes and not cause injury to the knees. So you may have varying levels of where you can get to, and that's fine. Take an inhale. And exhale. Bring your weight forward onto the knees one more time. Shake out the toes one more time. And then curl your toes under. Bring your hands onto your hips. You can widen your knees so they're more in line with your pelvis or even slightly wider. Keep your toes tucked under. Bring your hands onto the top, so the thumbs are at the top of your pelvis and the hands are resting on the sides. And really squeeze the core towards itself, so towards the midline of the body. Lift your shoulders up, back, and down the spine. And just inhale here. On your exhale, start to lean backwards. Lifting the chest, lifting the chin if you can. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Take an inhale. Come back upright on the exhale. And you can just lean forward and just allow yourself to slouch up slightly inwards. This is Ustrasana, or camel pose. We're going to go into it a few times just to develop the back bend. So come back onto your knees, straighten the pelvis. Stay here in a neutral posture for a moment. Take an inhale, and on the exhale, you're going to go back into the back bend again. So exhale. Squeeze in the midline of the core. And if you'd like, you can bring your hands to your ankles this time, lifting the chest. On an exhale, bring yourself back upright. And you can just take a gentle rest here again. Just take a slight slouch forward so you're stretching out the back of the body again. This time come onto the tops of your feet. So on an inhale, you can start to move up back onto your knees and really anchor the feet to the floor. Keep your hands on the back of the hips. You can move them to the floor this time if you can reach the floor. If you really want to go crazy, you can reach them up behind you as you bend back. I'm not there yet though. And just come into camel one more time. Making sure you're following the breath here. Drawing the breath through the whole front of the body. Take an inhale. Your next exhale. Bring yourself upright. And one more time, just come to a neutral position. You can just shake out the shoulders and the neck for a moment. Just make any movements you need to. Go to child's pose. You can reach the arms out in front of you. Or if you prefer puppy pose, come into puppy pose. There's nothing saying that your thumb needs to rest on your heel, so if that's not working for you, just come into puppy pose. This is Ananda Balasana, so your bum is reaching for your heels and your arms are reaching out in front of you, keeping the elbows off the floor, stretching out the shoulders here. Again, just really swirling that breath energy throughout the body. can focus on the forehead and just bringing the breath onto the forehead as it's touching the ground, and then out through the fingertips and crown of the head as well. When you're ready, take an inhale. And exhale, come back up to your tabletop. You can bring your hands slightly in front of you, a little bit further than tabletop. And then curl your toes under for downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And just pedal your legs out for a moment. Just take any movements that you need to take. You can bend one leg, follow your breath into that stretching calf. And then bend the other leg and follow your breath into the other leg, stretching calf. Really concentrate on getting the breath to go all the way from the fingertips through to the toes. And the crown of the head. And when you're ready, just either take a step forward, shifting your weight forward, or you can walk your feet forward, or you can do an arm balance to the front of your mat. And just allow yourself to hang here in Uttanasana for a moment. So forward fold, keep a micro bend in your knees, and really press through the feet so that you're really pressing the sits bones towards the ceiling. Take an inhale. Lift the head and chest, extend the spine long. Breathe here for a moment. Notice your breath here. See if you can extend through the feet and through the crown of your head. Really focusing the breath on these 2 points. And when you're ready, exhale one more time, forward folding. When you're ready to inhale, just gently start to roll your spine up, one vertebrae at a time. You can roll your shoulders up, back, and down the spine. And just stand in Tadasana for a moment. Spread your toes wide and go through all 4 corners of the feet. So the big toe mound, the little toe mound, the inside of the ankle, and the outside of, the inside of the heel and the outside of the heel. Your palms face forward. Your ears, shoulders, hips, and knees are one line. Tadasana, mountain pose. We'll just follow the breath for a moment with our movement. So inhale, bring the arms up, reaching up, palms together, and then exhale, palms together through the heart, through the center of the body, and then release, opening up again. For the inhale, reaching and lifting up, and then exhale, coming back down to the center of the body, hands in prayer posture. One more time. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale through the center. I'm going to show you Uddiyana Bandha in this position now. So just come into a bit of a squat. You can widen your stance a little bit. Bring your feet so that your knees are in line with your hips more or less. And your shoulders are still rolling back down the spine. Your bum is pressing back, but your tail is tucked in slightly, so it's not arching your back at all. It's still flat and straight. So Uddiyana Bandha, in this position, I'll just show you my belly so you can really see what it looks like. So you inhale, you open the ribs. I'll just say it before I do it. And then you exhale all that air out. And then the apnea, open the ribs without inhaling. Hold it, which draws everything from the pubic bone all the way up. And then you inhale to release it. So inhale, opening the ribs. And exhale, let it go. And now the apnea. So you can see it's quite a dramatic change in the density of the abdomen that happens when you do Uddiyana Bandha. So I'll do it one more time, and then you can try along with me this time. So inhale, opening the chest. Exhale, expelling all that air out. And now the apnea. So opening the ribs, opening everything up, and then holding it for a moment and releasing with an inhale. One more time. Inhale, opening the ribs. Exhale, let all the air go. Prepare for the apnea, and then open and expand the ribs without inhaling. Hold it for a moment. When you're ready to release, take an inhale. And then just take a few relaxing breaths here. So take an inhale. Open and expand the ribs. Exhale, let it all go. Prepare for the apnea. Opening the ribs now. And then breathing inwards, taking an inhale. So that's Uddiyana Bandha. And the Bandha is a lock between the throat and kind of the base of the diaphragm, which pulls everything from the abdomen upwards. So what it's essentially doing is massaging the internal organs. So it's really good for detoxification and just to realign the organs. So you can practice that this week at home just to get more wisdom about it in your body. And you'll notice when you're in, after you've gotten it down, if you're in downward facing dog, your body will just naturally do this so that your abdomen will start to lift into your ribs as you're in a downward facing dog. And more you'll be able to do it with more of your postures. For now, we'll go back to our practice. So take an inhale here. On the exhale, take a step back. You can bring the heel of your front foot, so make sure it's your right foot, and the arch of the back foot, so that they're perpendicular to one another, intersecting. Keep the knee of the front foot bent. Open your pelvis to the side of the room. So we're not going for this, we're going for this. And then you can bring your arms out. And I want to have my palms out right now, just to have a different motion in my arms, a different exercise in my shoulders. This is Virabhadrasana 2. So really focus on breathing here. So breathe all the way into this bottom foot, up through the side of the body and the crown of the head. See if you can do that. Make sure your weight is even between both feet. You can even breathe the breath into the fingertips. Bring energy there. Take an inhale, press that hip back. Then you can bring your elbow and just gently touch the knee, not putting your weight there, and reach your arm up, so extending through the side of the body here. Take an inhale, and then just straighten that front knee. You can bring the arm right around. Bring your hand to the inside of your shin or to the ankle, wherever you bend to. I like to go to the outside because I have difficulty leaning back when I'm not on the outside. But make sure your shoulders aren't here or here, that they're in line with one another. And your arms are stacked with one another for Utthita Trikonasana, extended triangle pose. Your gaze can be towards the thumb of your extended arm. And again, come into your breath here. So really breathe through both sets of fingertips and both legs. Imagining the energy of your breath flowing through your feet. Take an inhale. On your exhale, bring yourself back upright. Turn that front foot towards the side of the room. Bring your hands onto the back of your pelvis one more time. Breathe here. And we'll do another set of inhales, lifting the arms up. And then exhale, drawing the hands through the center of the body. Make sure your toes are pointing slightly towards each other. Then inhale again, lifting the chest, opening up. Palms together, hands through heart center. One more time. Inhaling up, exhaling down. And inhale, bring your arms up, bring your palms together, and bend your elbows. So just open up the front of the chest. Keep your ribs in line with your hips. So make sure you're not thrusting the ribs out and doing a back bend. But you do want to open up the backs of the arms. Really those tricep muscles here. You can have your hands in prayer posture so it's reaching down your spine. And just see if you can breathe into your triceps and elbows. And then down through your feet and your pelvic floor. And just imagine that breath energy is really nourishing and healing your body every breath you take, and every time you draw attention to a specific part of your body. Take an inhale. Exhale, bring the hands back up and down. This time, turn your other foot, so the wall foot, towards the wall. Again, you want your feet to be perpendicular to one another, with the heel intersecting with the arch of the back foot. Bend that knee so it's over top of your ankle. If you've gone a little bit further like I have, you might have to adjust your stance. Your hips can face towards the side. Keep that knee over top of the ankle. And then reach your arms out here for Virabhadrasana 2. And just extend and open here. Notice where your breath is and see if you can expand its reach. Maybe you're drawing your attention to your fingertips. Maybe drawing attention into your feet, or the shoulder blades and the crown of your head. You can even draw the breath up and down the spine. And take an inhale. Your next exhale, press that back hip towards the back of the room. Extend your torso forward and just gently rest that elbow on that leg. You're not putting your weight on the elbow though, and definitely not on the knee, just on the thigh. And then reaching and stretching through this side of the body here. Utthita Parasva Konasana, extended side angle. And again, really focus where your breath is and where you can take it. So you're drawing that top shoulder blade back and the bottom ribs forward. Keeping that front knee above the ankle. And the weight between both feet evenly. Take an inhale. Exhale, straighten that front leg. Again, coming with that top arm, doing a big revolution. Bottom arm reaching towards the floor. Opening up for Utthita Trikonasana here. And you can bring that hand behind you if it helps you to open up the front of your chest more. Make sure your shoulder's not folding inwards. It's in line with your other shoulder, drawing towards the back of the room. Your hand's not reaching back either. You're just in line. And just for the record, it took me a long time to figure out this posture. Literally 20 years. I was doing this for years and years. So really open up the chest. And if there's any tension in your neck, just work through it. Maybe move the neck to calm it down. Take an inhale. Exhale, bend that front leg and come back up. You can come with both feet facing towards the side of the room again, or the long side of your mat. And squeeze your elbows towards one another. Keep your ribs over top of your pelvis so you're not jutting forward. And then exhale, hinge from the hips, and just draw your weight forward here. We'll do the precursor for the headstand again. So keep your legs wide. We're not going to actually come into a headstand here unless we are already proficient at it. But keep your legs wide. Bring your head onto the mat, so you might need to walk your feet back. Keep your hands and elbows in line with each other. And draw your head onto the mat. You can stay here, just resting here. Focusing on your breath again. Or you can start to bend your knees and bring them onto your elbows. Keep your feet on the ground because I don't want you to roll backwards.
But do start to come onto your toes and lift your back of your body towards the ceiling. So starting to lift your tail towards the ceiling. And breathe in here. Maybe breathe into the crown of your head since it's getting a lot of different pressure on it. Then exhale, walk your hands out, bring your weight back onto your feet, and come into child's pose again. Just draw your hands behind you, palms facing upwards. Again, if this is not comfortable for you, come into puppy pose. Just calm your breath here. Let it nourish your body. When you're ready, take an inhale. Exhale, start to roll the spine up. And we will come into puppy pose for a moment. Bring your forearms onto the ground again. Make sure your elbows are in line with your shoulders. Curl your toes under. And then spread your fingers wide. We're going to prepare for asana. So, if you know how to do pincha, I encourage you to do it now. If you don't, you can just follow me. So inhale. On your exhale, press into your feet and lift your tail up as though you're coming into downward facing dog. So this is a good posture for practicing Uddiyana Bandha. This is dolphin pose. And you can stay here. You don't have to come into pincha yet. Or you can look forward, start to walk your feet towards your face. And if you feel it coming up, use your wall, it's right behind you. And you can lift your feet up. When you're finished, come back into child's pose. I'm still working on my asana. If you don't want to be in child's pose again, you can come into puppy pose. When you're ready, take an inhale. Lift yourself back up on the exhale. And we'll start to wind down. So come onto your seat. Bring your right foot so that the shin is parallel with the front of your mat. Keep that foot flexed, so the toes pointing towards the knee. And then draw the left leg over top of the right foot. You can give it a hug in towards your chest, keeping the spine in line here. If you like the stretch for your side of your bottom, your performance muscle, then you can continue to do this stretch here. If you'd like to go into the twist and get out of the hip and more into the spine, then bring your elbow across the knee and then twist the chest from the belly, then the chest, and then the neck, so that your neck is looking towards the left shoulder.
Take an inhale. Exhale, come back to center. So I encourage you to continue to explore your breath here. And you can extend that foot out in front of you. Just bring the other foot so it's in line with your groin or the inside of your thigh. You can adjust your position. Turn your chest so you're facing more towards the knee. And then start to stretch out towards the side. You can bring your arm onto the shin or the elbow onto the mat. Draw that top shoulder back and reach your right arm over until it reaches the other hand or wherever it goes. So twisting that left side of the ribs underneath towards your face and the right shoulder towards your spine. So it's Pavrita Janushirasana, revolved or twisted Janushirasana. So again, just breathe here. So really bring your breath into the side of your body if you're getting a big stretch here. Breathe it in and swirl it around there. Or you can breathe it in and just notice your sits bones and swirl it around there. Just do what feels good. Notice where the energy is. Notice where you'd like to send it. Take an inhale. Exhale, reach the arm up. Lift your torso. Come back to center so you're facing towards the foot. And just make sure that thigh is plugged into the hip socket. So lift your chest. And wherever you are, make sure your shoulders stay back. Your chin is tucked slightly, your chest is lifting, and you're drawing your weight forward. Your foot stays flexed. Then you can just reach your hands forward. You're hinging from the pelvis. We're not folding here. We're staying upright and drawing the chest towards the thigh. You can reach for the shins, ankle, foot, wherever you are is fine. And just breathing here. If you'd like to, and you've reached your maximum fold capacity, then you can draw your chest forward, lengthening the spine, and then exhale, allow yourself to fold inward. So each inhale, just inhale with the chest, lengthen the spine, and then exhale, come fold a little bit deeper. If you're getting quite a deep stretch in the hamstrings, then just breathe into the hamstrings, draw your breath attention there. Nourish those muscles. And if you're feeling pain, just bend the knee slightly. Pain that's beyond discomfort. Take an inhale. Lift the head and chest. Exhale, come back upright. And you can switch sides. So this time, bring your right foot so that the shin is parallel with the front of the mat. Again, keep this foot flexed so the toes point towards the shin. You can cross the left foot over the right knee.
Just make sure both sits bones remain on the floor here. And then hug that left knee towards your chest. Rather, bring your left foot so that it's parallel with the front of your mat, and then cross your right foot over top of the left foot. Then hug it in towards you. You can stretch it out. Make sure your sits bones remain anchored to the floor. Keep your spine tall. If you want to continue to stretch this performance muscle on the side of your hip, do so just by hugging in more deeply. If you'd like to come into a twist, you can do so by bringing your left arm across that knee and then opening the chest. So twisting from the belly, then the chest, and then the neck. Really twisting the whole spine, using that back hand to straighten the spine, and look over your right shoulder. So again, just draw your attention to your breath. Maybe you're still feeling that stretch in the hip. There's a couple ways you can focus your breath. You can either breathe into that hip. Imagine your energy of your breath swirling around in the hip, nourishing the joints there. Or you can just follow the spine as it's twisting from the sacral base of the tailbone up through the spine and the crown of your head every breath. And then back down again. Just notice what feels good and what your body needs. Take an inhale. Your next exhale. Release the leg, uncross the foot. And this time, bring your left foot so it's in line with the groin. You can draw your chest over the left knee, so you're sideways. Keep that foot flexed, that's the extended foot. And then start to lean to the side. Again, you can bring the forearm onto the shin or onto the ground with your elbow touching it. You can hook the toe, you can hold on to the shin or just place your hand to the side, whatever works there. And then when you're ready, you can reach that arm up. So your left arm comes up, and then you can reach it over as far as it'll go. Maybe it reaches the toe in the other hand, maybe it doesn't. Just remember the head and neck are an extension of the spine. You're probably getting a deep stretch in that left side of the body. So just breathe into the left side of the body. Maybe drawing your attention back to your head and neck. Drawing that left shoulder blade to the back of the body and the right ribs towards the front. Breathing here in Pavarita Janushirasana. Take an inhale. Exhale, reach the arm up and follow it up with the rest of your body. Again, just plug that thigh of your extended leg into the hip socket. Lift the chest, lengthen the spine. On an exhale, start to bring your chest towards that extended leg to the thigh. And keep your shoulder blades as much as possible in line as you walk yourself out. You can bring your hands out, just gently fold forward. And again, on the inhale, lifting the chest, extending the spine long. Exhaling, folding forward more deeply. Inhale, lifting the chest, extending the spine long. Exhale, folding deeper. Just continue to do that with your own speed of breath. And again, if you're feeling a deep stretch in that hamstring, it should be in the hamstring, not in the back of the knee at all. Just be mindful of where you're feeling the stretch. If you are feeling it in the back of the knee, just bend the knee slightly. And continue to follow your breath. Maybe it needs to follow your spine again. Maybe it needs to go down the entire length of your extended leg through to the foot and toes. Maybe it needs to go through the crown of your head. Maybe it needs to go through the bent leg or your arms. Just go where it needs and draw your attention and focus there. You'll draw your energy there. Take an inhale. Lift the head and chest. Exhale, walk the hands up, back towards the body and lift yourself up. Since we did all those back bends, we'll do one more. And since we've been working on Dhanurasana, bow pose, and Urdhva Dhanurasana will come into the full expression this week. So take an inhale. Lift your feet off the floor. And just come into Navasana for a moment. You can extend your arms out in front of you. Find your breath here. Follow your breath here. So this is a really intense posture for finding balance in, as well as for in keeping the hip flexors engaged and the core engaged. Bring the feet back down or keep them extended and just roll onto your back. Bring your feet in line with your sits bones. Bring your palms onto the floor. And this week it's going to happen. So inhale. Exhale. Draw your pubic bone towards your sternum. Lift the pelvis off the floor. Squeeze the thighs together. And then exhale, roll yourself back down. If you have a block or a small pillow or anything really, you can place it between your legs to help keep your thighs engaged. If you don't have those two things and you have a strap or a belt, you can tie them around your thighs to keep your thighs towards one another. If you know how to go into Urdhva Dhanurasana, then please do so, but keep your thighs engaged. So you can place the block either towards the top of your knees, not right on your knees, or more towards the groin. But find where you need to hold it in order to keep your legs together. Each body is different. Take an inhale. Exhale, press into the feet again, draw that pubic bone towards the sternum, lift the pelvis off the floor. So we're going to go through all the steps today. Just make sure your feet are in line with your sits bones. So this is Setu Bandhasana, baby bridge. You can stay here, or you can draw your shoulder blades underneath, interlace your fingers. And stay here. The next step is bringing your elbows in line with your pelvis and bringing your hands underneath the pelvis, forcing the pelvis up, deepening the back bend here. Again, following your breath. Maybe this is deep enough for you today. Maybe you'd like to go deeper into step 4. Bring your hands so they're in line with your ears and shoulders. Your fingertips point towards your shoulders. Again, keep your thighs engaged. This is step 4. You can stay here. Or the next step is come onto the top of your head. So again, just realign yourself if you need to. Keep your thighs engaged. You can stay on your head. If this is far enough, if it's too deep, come back down 1 step. If you'd like to go to the next step, you're feeling confident, press into your hands and lengthen your spine all the way up. Squeeze your thighs together, engage those glutes. This is why we did all those wrist stretches at the beginning of the practice. Breathe here. Really follow your breath through the entire posture. From the hands on the floor through to the feet. Squeezing the glutes, lifting the chest, opening the throat. Activating the entire spine. Urdhva Dhanurasana. Take an inhale. Exhale. Start to roll yourself down 1 vertebrae at a time onto your spine. And just come onto the floor. Let your body rest for a moment. You can follow your breath. Bring your toes up through the crown of the head and then back down with the inhale and the exhale. And just come back to a seated position when you're ready. Take an inhale. Lift your chest. Start to draw it towards your thighs. Keeping the spine long. You can plug your legs into your hip sockets as you come down. Or you can walk from a bent knee position, walking your feet out, keeping the chest on the thighs as you come down. Whatever works best in your body to deepen Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. And just allow gravity to pull you down towards your thighs. Take an inhale, lift the head and chest. On exhale, bring yourself all the way up. And one more time, just roll down onto your back. If there's anything else your body needs, any movement, before we set up for Shavasana, please do so now. Maybe you want your hips to do an internal rotation. Stretch out a little bit. Just take this moment, take this movement, whatever it is that your body needs or is craving. And I'm going to encourage you not to do a back bend for Shavasana. So if you'd like and you do have blocks, you can set them up. And then come onto your stomach and do Shavasana this way. And there's a few ways. Or you can stay on your back. Just bring a bolster or a cushion underneath your knees just to get your back flat onto the mat more. You can come into traditional Shavasana, so just corpse pose, laying down on your back. You can come into a side lying position with support for your head and possibly a block or a bolster between your legs. You can go into with your feet up the wall if that feels good in your body. It's particularly cold outside right now, so I'm going to stay away from my cold walls. Or you can do what I'm doing, which is bringing the blocks in between the shoulder girdle and the pectoral muscles. So there's just a soft spot in there. And just bringing your weight onto the block. You're going to have to fiddle with it a bit and bring your forehead onto the floor. You can bring your feet wide, cover up with a blanket to stay warm here. And just let yourself be heavy on your mat. Let your body weight really fall into the ground. Relax the space between the eyes. Relax the jaw. Relax the tongue. Relax the cheeks and face. Relax the skull and crown of the head. Relax the neck and throat. And just draw your breath through these parts of your body. So from the neck through the crown of your head, just imagine your breath and life energy swirling about. Let your hands and wrists relax. Let your arms and elbows relax. Let your fingers relax and just rest the entire arm and everything attached to it into the earth. Let your shoulders relax and be heavy. And this time just bring your breath and your focus of your breath's energy into the arms. So breathing through the fingers and then up to the shoulders. And just allowing the breath to flow through the entire arm, each inhale and exhale. Relax the chest, relax the ribs and diaphragm, relax the belly, relax the pelvis, relax the back, Relax the glutes. Now just allow your energy to move throughout your entire abdomen from the base of the neck all the way down to the bottom of the pelvis. And just allow it to swirl around throughout your abdomen. Imagine beautiful golden energy swirling through your body as you breathe, nourishing and cleansing all of your organs. Just take a moment to imagine all of the organs of this core of your body just being nourished by the breath and the energy within. Now just draw your attention to your legs. Let them be heavy. Relax your knees. Relax your shins and calves. Relax your thighs and hamstrings. Relax your ankles, your heels, your soles of your feet, your tops of your feet, and your toes. Just let the whole leg rest into the earth, becoming heavy. Now just focus your breath through the legs, all the way through the toes, up and down as you inhale and exhale. Just draw your attention inward. And let anything you're holding onto or thinking about go. Just release it all. Take an inhale. And exhale, release, let it go. One more inhale. Exhale. exhale through the mouth this time. Take an inhale again. And just draw some movement into your fingers and your toes. Open and close the hands. And imagine you're doing the same with the feet. Maybe wiggle yourself around a little bit gently. Just start to bring energy back into the body and your awareness back into the room. When you're ready, take an inhale. On the exhale, you can roll yourself onto your side. So move any props you have out of the way. And just come onto your side. You can bring your elbow and upper arm to support your head and neck, or use a prop. And just rest on your side for a moment. Take an inhale. Exhale, press into your hand on top and just start to bring yourself up slowly. Let your head and neck be the last things to come up. And just make sure you're warm still. No reason to be cold. You can sit on a prop if you'd like to. Just to elevate the hips a bit higher than the knees. Come into a comfortable seat and sit tall. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down the spine. And just bring the palms so they're in the middle of the body. Rest them on the feet if you're in Siddhasana. Just rest one set of fingers into the palm of the other. Just follow your breath for the last time in this practice, a little bit longer. Letting that swirl in your body, letting the energy flow where it needs to. Take an inhale. And bring your hands to heart center if you'd like. You may always find ways of using your breath that are nurturing and healing to your body. And take time to follow the breath.
Thank you for sharing in this practice with me today.